This is Alexandre de Moraes, the judge who's investigating Elon Musk and attempting to shut down X in Brazil. This is breaking big time today, getting a lot of attention because of the implication it has, not just on Brazil, a powerhouse in the world, but also on every other nation for that matter. We're going to talk about this a bit. If you haven't already, please, after this, when you have time, check out Tucker Carlson's episode 78, where he has some guests on, and we're going to talk about what his guests are saying. But here's a quick clip from Tucker Carlson Network on X.
Be able to report honestly and openly, and the Chinese government will have undue influence over Brazil. And that's a big deal, not just for Brazilians, but for the United States, because Brazil is the most significant country in the Americas after this one. It's huge. It's got enormous natural resources. It's got a well-educated population. There's a lot in Brazil. And so if it descends into darkness, that's a problem not just for Brazil, but for every country in this hemisphere.
There you have it. That's just one snippet from the introduction from the wonderful 34-minute interview by Tucker Carlson. Check it out. Who he had on, one of his guests was Paulo Figueiredo Filho. And this is what he put on X about the matter. He says, quote, "Breaking. Justice Alexandre de Moraes publishes decision of the Brazilian Supreme Court stating that Elon Musk is part of an intentional criminal network, including the billionaire in an unconstitutional criminal probe, in which I'm also under investigation, by the way, and even imposes fines and threats to X if they lift the censorship. Understand, we are dealing with an abject despot." And this is Paulo Figueiredo, award-winning journalist censored by the Brazilian Supreme Court, Brazil and Latin America specialist, as seen on Tucker Carlson and PragerU. He goes on and he says this, quote, "Here is the final pages of de Moraes' decision. The flagrant conduct of obstruction of Brazilian justice, incitement to crime, public threat of disobedience to court orders, and future lack of cooperation by the platform are facts that disrespect Brazil's sovereignty and reinforce the connection of the intentional criminal instrumentalization of the activities of the former Twitter, current X, with the illegal practices investigated by the various investigations previously mentioned and should be the object of investigations by the federal police. Given the above, I determine the inclusion of Elon Musk, owner and CEO of the social network provider X, formerly Twitter, in view of the position held as investigated in INQ 4874 for the, in theory, intentional criminal instrumentalization of the social network provider X, formerly Twitter, in connection with the facts investigated in INQ 4781, yada, 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 yada." He goes on and says this, "The establishment of an investigation by prevention of INQs to investigate the conduct of Elon Musk, owner and CEO of the social network provider X, formerly Twitter, in relation to the crimes of obstruction of justice, including in a criminal organization and incitement to crime. I also determine that the social network provider X must refrain from disobeying any judicial order already issued, including performing any reactivation of a profile whose blocking was determined by the Supreme Court or by the Superior Electoral Court, under penalty of daily fine of 100,000 reais per profile, which is the equivalent of about, I think, $20,000 US dollars, and responsibility for disobedience in the judicial order of those legally responsible for the company in Brazil. The representatives of the company X are to be subpoenaed immediately, including by electronic means. Inform the Attorney General's office." And here's the actual report here, a snippet, the document that I was just quoting. And this was shared today by Paulo Figueiredo Filho. So basically every user that Elon Musk allows to stay on, he could be fined $20,000 per day, it sounds like, per profile. $20,000 per profile. Okay, so $20,000 per profile Yeah, it's approximately $20,000. Holy moly. Onward here. Let's talk about what else we see on the internet as far as this story is going, how it's breaking, what Elon Musk is saying, etc. Here we have Michael Schellenberger, though. If you guys want to know the details of what's gone on here, the history, the real details here are Twitter files Brazil. I've shared it on X, or you could search Michael Schellenberger on X and read this whole thread. It's a very long thread about the whole history of what's going on and what's led up to what we see today. And he ends, let's go to the end here. He says, the solution, First Amendment level protections for Brazil. So, and he lays it out very detailed here on what that will look like. And it's a very important topic in today's day and age. Elon Musk talks about it. Elon Musk talks about colonizing Mars, and like him or not, you know, love him or hate him, we all have our opinions. I'm sitting somewhere in the middle, of course. I just find myself sitting there a lot. He's done great things for Twitter and free speech, but on other things, I'm like, that's weird. But, you know, and the whole technology thing, to be frank, is very concerning. He knows that as well, but at the same time, brain chips and all kinds of things, weird. But who knows? Maybe it'll be fine. We don't know. But with so much turmoil in the world, Elon Musk, one of his missions is to colonize Mars. And he said the other day, this could be possible within 20 years, actually having a colony on Mars that is self-sustaining and independent of Earth. Not that he doesn't care about Earth or he wants something bad to happen to Earth, but just in case something outside of anybody's control happens, consciousness will continue on via Mars and beyond. And that's kind of his goal. That's what he said. So I'm paraphrasing. So this stuff's important. Onward, let's take a look at what the red-headed libertarian says. Quote, truth is treason in an empire of lies. And I just wanted to play the end of this little clip here, an old interview with Elon Musk. Let's hear what he says at the end of this.
What you have to say.
I'll say what I want to say, and if the consequence of that is losing money, so be it.
I'll say what I have to say, and if the consequences of that are losing money, so be it. And I think he's still taking this stance. However, he's put in a position where I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen here. It seems like he might have to comply to some extent. Obviously, there's going to be some legal actions back and forth, but it's getting shaky. Here's Elon Musk on X earlier yesterday. He said, the aggressive censorship appears to violate the law and will of the people of Brazil. This is in response to Michael Schellenberger Twitter files that we just discussed. Highly recommend going through that. Paulo Figueiredo replied and said, yes, so why comply? Rumble and locals didn't. You are powerful enough to make a difference. Elon Musk replied saying, quote, we are lifting all restrictions. This judge has applied massive fines, threatened to arrest our employees, and cut off access to X in Brazil. As a result, we will probably lose all revenue in Brazil and have to shut down our offices there. But principles matter more than profit. That moniker there, principles over profit, by Elon Musk once again, that we just saw highlighted in that interview that I just played a second ago. Very interesting. I'll go ahead and repost that. This is what End Wokeness points out. And Tucker as well. There was a huge anti-government protest in Brazil a few weeks ago. This hardly got any coverage, but it went viral on X. This is why X is Lula's public enemy #1. And here is that protest, just for scale. I mean, look at that. Holy mackerel. I don't know how many people were here, but thousands. It's a lot. There's already obviously some discontent with the Brazilian people. And I think something like freedom of speech is such a basic, fundamental right. And, man, I'd hate to see Brazil lose it. There's a lot of wonderful people in Brazil. And, you know, the world seriously needs to get their act together, not just in Brazil, but all the way around. So when I see other countries struggling with fundamental rights and stuff, it's a horrible sight to see. Doge Designer on X says this is a battle for the future of civilization. If free speech is lost, tyranny is all that lies ahead. with this image here of an X in Brazil. And Elon Musk even replied and just said yes, just tonight on April 7th. Wow. And just coincidentally, Elon Musk earlier today posted this. He said using a VPN is very easy, and shared this video by Doge Designer on how to use a VPN. And very interesting. Oh, there's the judge again, Alexandre de Moraes. Ah, my goodness. Wow. So we're going to watch this develop, see what happens. Certainly a lot of pressure put on Elon Musk. We'll see what goes on and stay updated here. Make sure you like and comment and follow, and let me know what you think about what's going on. I'll be live again in the morning, Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, to talk about the news of the day. So see you then. Take care.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.